Breaking news, a prominent tech billionaire has been arrested on charges of fraud and embezzlement. Details are emerging from the investigation.
The arrest warrant was already drafted. It just needed one signature. Adrian Park stood inside his glass office overlooking the city of Seoul. News alerts flooded every screen. Tech billionaire under federal investigation. Government contract fraud allegations. His name was everywhere. Calm on the outside. Strategic on the inside. You have 48 hours, his lawyer said quietly. After indictment, we lose negotiation leverage. Adrian did not panic. He asked only one question. And the marriage clause? The lawyer hesitated. If you legally marry before formal charges, asset transfer protections activate. They cannot freeze everything. Adrian looked toward the skyline. Marriage. Not for love. For survival. Find me a bride, he said. But in his mind, there was only one option. Zara Cole never expected the knock on her apartment door. She was the journalist who wrote the article that shook the tech world. The golden genius with dirty hands. She had accused Adrian Park of manipulating government algorithms for profit. She believed every word. When she opened the door, he was standing there, calm, controlled, immaculate in a black coat. You ruined my reputation, he said evenly. She crossed her arms. You ruined your own. Silence stretched between them. Then he said something unexpected. Marry me. She laughed. Then realized he wasn't joking. I have 48 hours before indictment, he continued. You need access to my company's internal records. Her expression changed. How do you know that? Because you're still investigating. He stepped closer. If I'm guilty, you'll prove it. If I'm not, you'll find who framed me. Her heart beat faster. You're asking me to protect you. I'm offering you the truth. And that was more dangerous. The press conference was chaos. Cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. Adrian stood at the podium, composed as ever. Then he did something no one expected. He announced his engagement. To Zara Cole. The very journalist who tried to destroy him. Gasps echoed across the room. Zara stepped forward beside him. Calm face. Storm inside. Is this a publicity stunt? A reporter yelled. Zara answered before Adrian could. It's a personal decision. Her voice was steady. But her pulse wasn't. When the announcement ended, she leaned closer to him. If this is manipulation, it's protection, he replied. For both of us. The country exploded online within minutes. But someone else was watching. And smiling. That night, Zara entered Adrian's penthouse for the first time. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Minimalist luxury. Security on every corner. He handed her a digital tablet. Restricted company access, he said. You're my wife now. You have rights. She didn't respond. She opened the files immediately. Contracts. Government bids. Code logs. Financial transfers. Everything looked clean. Too clean. Someone covered their tracks, she murmured. Adrian studied her carefully. You think I'm innocent? I think, she replied slowly, someone powerful wants you to fall. And that was when they both realized. This wasn't just corporate fraud. It was political. At 9 a.m. the next morning, federal investigators arrived. The indictment was official. But the asset freeze failed. The marriage clause worked. Adrian remained financially protected. Which meant someone's plan had just collapsed. That same night, Zara received an anonymous message. Stop digging. You don't know who you're married to. She showed Adrian. He read it without expression. Good, he said calmly. She frowned. Good. It means you're getting close. For the first time, they weren't enemies. They were partners. And someone was afraid. Marriage changed nothing. At least, not on the surface. Zara moved into Adrian's penthouse officially. Cameras followed them everywhere. News outlets replayed their wedding photos beside headlines about corruption. Inside the house, silence ruled. They lived like strangers sharing space. But every night, Zara sat in his private office reviewing company data. Adrian watched her from across the room sometimes. Not interfering. Just observing. You're not even trying to defend yourself publicly, she said one evening without looking up. He leaned back in his chair. Public opinion shifts with headlines. Evidence shifts with truth. You're very calm for a man facing prison. He studied her. If I panic, they win. She paused. Who is they? Adrian hesitated for the first time. There are board members who wanted me removed. Politicians who lost bids. Competitors who hate losing. He walked toward the screen she was studying. Checked the subcontractor logs. Month of March. She scrolled. Something strange appeared. A third-party analytics company. Unknown. Never mentioned in public reports. Who authorized this? She asked. Adrian's expression darkened. I didn't. And that was the first real crack in the case. The deeper they dug, the more careful they became. Zara stopped using her own laptop. Adrian encrypted a private server only they could access. Late one night, rain hitting the windows, Zara leaned closer to the screen. There, she whispered. A digital signature. Subtle. Buried under layers of code authorization. Not Adrian's. But someone with executive access. Adrian's jaw tightened. That signature belongs to my chief financial officer. Can you prove he accessed it? He hesitated. He's been with my family for 12 years. Zara looked at him carefully. And loyalty has never been faked before. Silence filled the room. Adrian rarely trusted anyone. But betrayal from inside? That was different. I need proof, he said quietly. Zara nodded. And I need you to trust me. He met her eyes. For once, there was no arrogance in his gaze. Only pressure. I do. That word lingered longer than expected. 2 nights later, the power went out. The entire penthouse. Darkness swallowed the room. Security alarms failed. Adrian reacted instantly. Stay behind me. He pulled Zara toward the hallway. A loud crash echoed from his office. Someone was inside. Searching. Not stealing jewelry. Not targeting valuables. They wanted files. Adrian moved quickly and grabbed a metal lamp from the side table. Zara's heart pounded violently. The intruder ran. But not before dropping something. A flash drive. Security returned seconds later. Too late. Adrian picked up the drive slowly. Someone knows we're close, Zara said. He looked at her. They're not trying to scare us. What are they trying to do? He answered calmly. Erase evidence. But the break-in changed something else too. For the first time, Zara saw Adrian not as a billionaire, but as a man under attack. And when he noticed her hands shaking slightly, he reached for them. Without thinking. You're safe, he said quietly. Her breath slowed. And neither of them pulled away. The flash drive contained deleted server backups. Hidden transaction reroutes. secret internal messages. And one name repeated over and over. Councilman Han-Minute J. A powerful government official. Connected to the same tech contract. Zara felt cold. This is bigger than corporate fraud. Adrian nodded. He needed a fall guy if the contract was audited. And you were perfect, she said softly. Young. Powerful. Visible. Easy to blame. She looked at him. You really didn't do this. It wasn't a question anymore. He exhaled slowly. For the first time, someone believes me. Silence stretched. Heavy but intimate. You should leave, he said suddenly. Before this becomes dangerous. She stepped closer instead. I didn't marry you to run. That was the moment something shifted. Not just partnership. Choice. Pressure built quickly. News leaks increased. Anonymous threats appeared online. The board demanded Adrian temporarily step down. That night, he stood alone on the balcony overlooking the city. Zara joined him quietly. You can still walk away, he said. And let them win. No, he corrected softly. And let you stay safe. She looked at him carefully. You think marrying me was a strategy? He didn't answer. She stepped closer. You don't protect strategies like this. Wind moved between them. Tension thick. Raw. He reached up and gently brushed a strand of hair away from her face. Slow. Careful. As if asking permission without words. Her heart raced. His eyes softened. And for a moment, they almost kissed. But his phone rang. The investigation had escalated. Arrest hearing moved up. 24 hours left. The storm was no longer coming. It was here. The courthouse was surrounded before sunrise. Reporters lined the steps. Camera trucks blocked the streets. Protesters held signs. Some read, "Arrest him." Others read, "Truth first." Adrian Park stepped out of his car in a dark navy suit. Calm. Controlled. Untouchable on the outside. Zara walked beside him. Not behind. Not hidden. Beside him. Whispers followed them. She's the journalist. She married him for money. She switched sides. Zara kept walking. Inside the courtroom, tension felt heavy. The prosecutor stood confidently. Councilman Han-Minute J sat in the second row, watching quietly. Calm. Polished. Respectable. Adrian noticed him immediately. So did Zara. The judge called the session to order. The prosecutor began. Your Honor, the evidence clearly shows financial manipulation within Park Technologies, resulting in illegal contract advantages. Screens displayed transaction logs. Board signatures. Adrian's digital authorization. It looked real. Convincing. Zara's stomach tightened. This was carefully designed. The prosecutor continued. We request immediate detention pending full criminal trial. Murmurs spread across the courtroom. Detention. That meant handcuffs. Today. Zara leaned toward Adrian. Now, she whispered. He gave a slight nod. She stood. The room shifted instantly. Your Honor, she said clearly. I request permission to present counter-evidence. The prosecutor frowned. You are not counsel. I am his legal spouse, she replied. And I have admissible forensic documentation. The judge hesitated. Then allowed it. Adrian watched her carefully. This was no longer strategy. This was risk. Zara connected her tablet to the courtroom screen. Her hands were steady. But her heart was racing. These transactions were altered through executive override, she began. She zoomed into code logs. Digital timestamps were manipulated. The prosecutor objected. Speculation. Not speculation, she said calmly. Metadata traceable to a secondary executive key. She paused. The courtroom was silent. That key belongs to the Chief Financial Officer of Park Technologies. Gasps. Adrian's CFO shifted uncomfortably. Councilman Han remained still. Zara continued. And the authorization for those transfers required government verification. She clicked again. A government approval chain appeared. One name stood at the top. Councilman Han Minute J. The room erupted. Han stood slowly. This is outrageous. Zara did not raise her voice. Your signature approved the rerouted algorithm allocation. Han smiled faintly. You forged that. Adrian stood for the first time. No, he said evenly. You underestimated her. The judge demanded silence. The prosecutor looked shaken. Han's calm mask began to crack. Zara spoke clearly. The contract required a scapegoat in case of audit exposure. A public CEO. Young. Visible. Replaceable. She turned slightly toward Adrian. He was the perfect fall guy. The courtroom doors opened suddenly. Federal investigators entered. They were not there for Adrian. They walked directly toward Councilman Han. You are under investigation for federal contract tampering and conspiracy. For the first time, Han looked afraid. But power does not collapse easily. Han turned sharply. You think this clears him? He shouted. His company still benefited. The prosecutor regained confidence. The company still profited from the manipulated contract. The room shifted again. Adrian stepped forward. I will accept corporate penalty, he said calmly. Zara turned toward him in shock. What are you doing? He didn't look at her. If financial advantage occurred under my leadership, I take responsibility for negligence. Adrian. He continued. But I will not accept criminal fraud for something I did not authorize. The judge conferred with federal agents. After long discussion, the ruling came. Criminal charges against Adrian Park are suspended pending full investigation of Councilman Han. Suspended. Not cleared. Not yet free. But not arrested. The courtroom exhaled. Outside, reporters screamed questions. Inside, Zara grabbed Adrian's arm. You were going to sacrifice yourself. His expression softened slightly. If that protected you from retaliation, yes. She stared at him. You don't get to make that decision alone. That was the first time she spoke to him not as a journalist. Not as a partner. But as someone who cared. Councilman Han was formally arrested within days. The CFO confessed under pressure. Board members resigned. Stock prices crashed temporarily. Public opinion shifted. Headlines changed. Adrian Park framed. Government corruption scandal expands. But Adrian lost something too. Major investors withdrew. Government contracts were suspended. His empire weakened. One evening, Zara found him alone in his office. No lights on. Just the city glow through glass walls. You could have walked away from this, he said quietly. So could you. He gave a faint smile. That was different. No, she said softly. It wasn't. Silence stretched between them. The contract marriage still had 3 months left. The crisis was stabilizing. He looked at her. When this ends, you can leave. Your career will recover. And yours. I'll rebuild. He meant it. He always did. She stepped closer. You still think this was strategy? He didn't answer. She reached out slowly and placed her hand over his. I stayed because I believed you. His breath slowed. And now? Now, she whispered. I stay because I want to. 3 months later, all charges were officially dropped. Councilman Han faced trial. The CFO accepted a plea deal. Adrian stood outside the courthouse once more. But this time, he was not fighting. He was free. Reporters asked the question everyone wanted answered. Was the marriage just a legal move? Adrian looked at Zara. Then back at the cameras. It started that way. Silence. But it didn't stay that way. Zara's heart pounded. Later that night, inside the penthouse balcony where everything almost changed before, he faced her fully. The contract expires tomorrow. She nodded. You're free. So are you, he replied. The wind moved gently between them. For 48 hours, he said slowly. I thought I was marrying protection. He stepped closer. But I married courage. Her eyes softened. You don't need a loophole anymore. I know. Silence. Raw. Real. I don't want you to stay because of a contract, he continued. Then what do you want? He didn't hesitate. You. No strategy. No defense. No manipulation. Just truth. She stepped forward. And this time, they didn't stop.